Hi everybody and welcome to my Ascension Messages. My name is Bobbie Richardson. I am going to be channeling today and I have a couple of small channel messages that I've written down previously. So these are all to help us ascend into higher frequencies, gifted to me by many different beings, but today I'm really feeling a pull to the Pleiadians, so that's where we're going to go. So I'll just start with the written messages and then go from there. So I actually type these up on my phone. Sometimes I get woken up in the middle of the night and I have profound messages coming through, so I just type them up and then I can share them after. And then other times, like in a few more minutes, I will start channeling through the Pleiadians for you. They do have a title too that they wanted me to bring up, and that title is Stepping Out of the Polarity Game and into the Unity Game. So that's what this message is going to be about, but I don't know what's going to be said yet. But these are the small messages that I got woken up to. Rewrite your story, the new adventure. What people want more than being led is to be accepted, warts and all. The quickest way to show others how you want to be treated is to treat and accept yourself in this manner, because no one can pick up on what you desire unless you already are living and accepting it yourself. All they can do up till then is to show you where you don't respect and accept yourself by becoming your nemesis or reflection to what you're lacking within your own energy field. So that was one message. The next one's very quick. Beauty inspires us to live here. And that's actually quite powerful, because logic dictates everything has to have practical meaning to it, but beauty actually has practical meaning to it. It inspires our soul to stay and to explore and have an adventure. So very important. That's why we are creators of our own reality and wanting to explore into the arts and the music and all the beauty. That's because it literally brings our soul in to stay longer. If we're happy and feel inspired by our reflection of our outside reality, then we tend to live longer. It's as simple as that. But you can find beauty in the smallest of places, right? So you can go out into the garden and find beauty within a flower. You can go out into the world and find beauty, in the streams and the sparkles of the water and stuff like that. But you can easily miss them too. So if we do have our living quarters as beautified, it inspires us to be happy and live here longer as well. So there's really good reason for that to be part of our existence. God, the multiverse, source energy, is trying to save us. We've been trapped in the illusion of smallness for far too long. That's why we are going through all of this turmoil, because it's the only way to show us that we are strong enough to take more than we've been programmed to believe. If we don't move through the program, then we stay small and allow others to dictate our path. So that's the written messages. Now I'm going to channel through the Pleiadians and see what they come up with me. So the title that they gave me is Out of the Polarity Game and Into the Unity Game. This is going to be a mixture, they said, of their channeled messages and my higher self, my higher knowing, because they've already gifted me a lot of information in the past, and it's kind of been absorbed by my knowing, my higher self anyway. And because I come from Pleiades. I have a strong connection to Pleiades. It's very similar to my higher self anyway. So let's see what comes through though. Stepping out of polarity game and into the unity game. Okay, so they're showing me a chessboard. That is obviously the polarity game. We're two sides of our minds that are very diverse. One is programmed to bring in this material world that we can have an adventure. That's the logical side of ourselves. Keeps us grounded in a certain frequency that we can explore. The other is connected to source energy, imagination, all of our past lives, intuition. Both are part of the human psyche and consciousness, and both has been at war with each other within each of us. And in reflection, wars have taken place. The masculine energy, the logical energy of our own self within our minds has been guiding, leading, and grasping outside of itself to form some sort of leadership. That's why this world is as it is, where we have had masculine energies in charge only, that wars have come into play. All has been because we didn't have harmony within our own psyche, our own minds, our own selves. Anyone that stepped out of that and found balance within themselves and found a nuance within their own life force that helped them create a better circumstance, ended up stepping into the ascended master roles and living their authentic truth, and they were seen as guides by those that wanted to step out, but the energies were conducive for the masculine to be in charge, purely because we needed to learn all about the masculine side of ourselves and how to create outside of us without mucking up other dimensional spaces. So now we've come to the point in the evolutional consciousness of humanity where balance is being asked. So the new frequencies sent is in cohesiveness with the waking up of humanity. It goes together because it is of one essence. And as humanity has asked for to escape the masculine authority of itself and be open to the feminine receiving and allowing the soul to now guide us into creating the reality that we want, there has to become a unity. And so it's not that we dismiss the masculine side of ourselves, it's that we allow unity to come in and accept that we can not only connect to our soul's vibration, but to allow logic to materialize things with the actions of our body, to remember how to do certain things like putting buildings together and how to demolish things, how to create with our hands, and create a world outside of us. But when the masculinity in the polarity game was being played, and the masculinity was in charge, then it was all about logic and a world of copy and paste, a world of practicalness, a world of compartmentalization. So beauty, exploring the wonders outside, exploring the imagination, the wonders outside of the logic of what we've been told is our reality, was almost condemned and put to sleep. It's in a lot of our fairy tales as well. We have Sleeping Beauty, the feminine side was put to sleep. Snow White, feminine side was put to sleep. Everything is in reflection to our minds and how we are exploring this reality and what program we're really running. So to step out of the polarity program of fighting against our intuition, fighting against our logic, and trying to win or be in charge is now been obsolete, because we're starting to realize both is needed to create the world that we live in. Both is creating the world that we live in. So we're now coming into unity of allowing our imagination to forge a new path of expansion using our soul's wisdom, and each of us has a different path, a unique path that each of our souls has taken. We all started with just love, source energy, so we're all at the core one, but then we branched off like veins or roots of a tree into different fractions of acceptance of what felt good for us in our soul's journey, and we learned through those different vibrations many different other things that expand past the limitation of the logic of what our minds know now. So we're then bringing in the abilities of intuition, telekinesis, teleportation, telepathy, the Akashic records, astral traveling, and even beyond that, there's more that some people can tap into that are even beyond those fifth dimensional aspects of ourselves, because the dimensions go right through far vaster than the fifth dimension, and go in the end back to source energy. So the unity of the polarity game within humanity's consciousness is going to bring them in awareness to sort back to source energy, and it is us in our own individual state of awareness that that allows us to connect to that. We do it all in our own divine timing, but there's many of us that can operate and bring in a vaster amount of wisdom and knowledge. So within humanity's consciousness now, in each and every one of us, we are going through what they call the eye of a needle, where we're squeezing through the center of a time hourglass, breaking up. When that squeeze happens, it breaks up everything that we thought we had understanding of being on top of, being that we were supported. No, how do I put that? How are you trying to say? There's an understanding then that the masculine energy of feeling like it needs to be in charge and only grabbing from the past, projecting into the future, is crumbling away. That in retrospect is giving us tower moments, or moments in our reality that feel like our whole world is coming apart within our own own lives. And in retrospect, so too is the crumbling away of the leaderships and all that sort of thing, because each and every one of us is starting to have more faith in our intuition, which is a direct connection to our soul, our guidance, our feeling, how we feel, what we want to do, what we want to create, what we came into this world to become, how we want to expand and beautify everything, and allowing that to happen. So the unity game looks completely different to the polarity game, where one is fighting within oneself against themselves. Unity, where logic fights intuition, intuition fights logic. The unity game is all to do with becoming in sync and seeing responsibility for each side of themselves within their own psyche, of how to bring that through and trust each side. So our intuition and our connection to our soul that can now tap into all of the lives before, bring in the imagination, and each one of us has different codes within our imagination of what we've accepted, because we've literally lived within different frequencies. So then we can allow that to come through, and that is the code for us to expand our awareness and ground it into this reality. What could be accepted through our logic? What can our logic accept and use what we know in this program of how to build, how to use different tools, how to beautify our world outside of us. And that is all to do with logics. Then logic will come in, see the imagination is saying that there is a way to enhance and explore and expand our own essence into something else on planet Earth. And then it will take what it can handle or what it knows and what it has learned by copy and pasting the program through the classrooms and the teachings that we've already gone through just in this life, and we bring it through at utilizing more scope and grounding it on Earth, seeing what works, what doesn't work. So if we want to bring in something that is beyond the limited program, say telekinesis, then we can practice with our intention of seeing our vibration moving past just our bodies, that our vibration is in awareness, everything outside of us as well as our bodies. And then we can have a relationship with, say, this card, or we have an awareness that it is part of us. Then our mind, when it accepts, our logical part accepts that, has an understanding, a bit of understanding of it, that we are in essence everything around us, as well as our bodies and our minds. Then we can start to have a relationship that is conducive to us being able to levitate things, move things. So there's a lot more expansion because of the unity of both logic and intuition working together, instead of logic saying it knows everything and can only grab in the past or what someone else has told it and project it into the future, which means it just keeps going around in circles. If our intuition was only running and our logic was less than, then we would only be imagining things and not grounding them into this reality, using the tools that we can remember through our logic to ground it into this reality. So it's to do with unity of both minds coming together, and then an expansion of humanity's consciousness and awareness that we are beyond just logic, but we need logic to create the world that we're in from birth to death in a linear manner, in a separated, compartmentalized way, so that we can have an adventure and explore Gaia as a material world as well as an etherical world. It expands everything. So that is the unity consciousness that we're moving into, rather than playing the polarity game of one is better than the other. One side of ourselves is better than the other. So any tower moment that we have is because we've allowed our logic to dictate and tell us how important it is, and that only things that we've learned just in this life is necessary. That will start to crumble away, because it's making room for our intuition to come in, and our intuition and our connection to our soul is literally showing the path to our logic. And our logic will feel like it literally has to jump off a proverbial cliff into an unknown vortex there, because it doesn't have a full understanding where it's coming from, where the intuition is coming from, but it has to have a trust that the intuition and the soul's connection does know more beyond, and it can expand a wisdom beyond what logic has only known in this lifetime. So that's why we are going through what we're going through. And once we find that unity within us, each one of us is going to create our unique path in divine timing, compared to how much the actual person's unified consciousness can be brought into this, allow into this reality of the system that is proverbially outside of ourselves, dictating to us what life should be like. When we step out of that and go into unity, we end up becoming the divine spark of that unity. And then each one of us has a different timing when that happens, because if we all woke up together, then that could never have happened, because there was different levels of consciousness even before, even with the old program running where logic and masculine energy was only in charge. There was different levels of consciousness and awareness and soul's maturity and everything that the individual will know about. So there was those that held codes. They were persecuted in past lives, but they kept holding on to those codes life after life, being persecuted. They're going to find it very intense at the moment, because they've been woken up now. They've been so-called warlocks, witches, whatever you want to call them. They've been woken up now to the codes that they were holding, because that is codes of our expanded reality part before logic took over, and they might find it very difficult to trust the new energies that are here now to actually help them and guide them, and that they can trust that now, that if they do step into the paths of being what they were persecuted for before, that it will actually work now. So they're the next big oomph that's happening right now. So light workers have been woken up to at least better understanding, and then it starts to merge into those that held codes life after life, and then they will wake up the others that have fallen into a deeper sleep, because they have a lot of compassion and understanding. Then when they start to take their power back, they have more understanding that their enemies were never their enemies. They were just doing the job and the energies that were present at that moment. So there's a lot more expansion that'll happen in layers and divine timing for each of us and our souls. And there's no one better than the other, and it doesn't matter if you're late in waking up or whether you're early in waking up. It doesn't make any difference, because at the core essence of all of us, we're just source energy going on an adventure. And some of us wanted to hang on to that logical adventure right till the very edge, because they get more of an exhilaration when they find the truth that they are more than just logic. And so they feel their lives becoming even beautified, expanded in such a euphoric way. We're the ones that are of knowing now come straight from higher frequencies, and light workers that have come straight from different alternate multiverses and frequencies and planets and so forth, and whole codes. They will have they will go through transition. It won't be as exhilarating because they're as those that are coming in later, because they already know that world. And so it's kind of like a rich person already winning the lottery. Yes, it's cool, it's amazing, but we know it anyway. We know that vibration anyway. Those that are going on the adventure of completely losing themselves and completely going to sleep, completely forgetting that they are more than logic, and then finding out that there's way more to their, there can be way more to their reality, and expanding. They can be the creators of their own existence, and it's all to do with how they feel about themselves. Their exhilaration will be like coming out of the gutter into a rich mansion all of a sudden. So it's a huge expansion of shift, and that's what source energy wanted to feel through them. So there is no wrong or right. There's no better or less better than it's just an adventure. So yeah, that's what I have for you today. Love you guys. Until next time, I will keep allowing this information to pour through me to help everybody be guided on this ascension journey. And until next time, bye.